no one question my boy Mason again.
No,
It's a Farmers League. It's not really the biggest achievement, and if you get a Rangers or a Celtic job, you should kind of be winning the league anyway.
If Man United don't play like that today, they definitely don't get a win. Man City will outplay any team on the field if you play this the way that you want them to, they want you to play.
Are English referees one of the worst referees in the world?
I don't know because I don't watch other refs.
Hello?
Applaud going. Come on. Big entrance. If you're going to turn up 10 minutes late, you've got to have a
arms
big
gonna be
entrance,
aching in a sec.
Arms
It's not even said that he's got a... It doesn't even say he's got... doesn't even say he's got a camera or a mic connected.
Oh,
This guy.
There he is.
What time do you call this, mate?
Listen, when you say mate.
You do realise we've started the recording, so we've got this in there.
Yeah, we started recording as soon as you joined.
The minute I said it, I was thinking, oh shit, I saw the little red dot there.
Best team in Manchester.
Oh, I love it.
It's still red. I can't believe it.
And the reason you're wearing that underneath your hoodie is because you didn't
Mate, it's
expect...
fucking cold in my room.
Do you think that it will cause City to go down, like, for the next couple of games? Do you reckon this could really disrupt them?
I hope so. And I hope
so.
we fucking win every game to the end of the season.
This would be mad, wouldn't it?
And then we win the fucking
they lose
league,
the
and then I
next
can
2
shut
games.
Pax up once and for all.
Imagine they lose the next 2 or 3 games. It changes things completely, doesn't it?
I'll be fuming if you win it.
Tax will leave the pod. Tax will leave the pod. Tax will like, no, I'm done. See you later.
Everton and Villa win their games in hand. No, Everton
Mad.
win their, and West
Everton
Ham,
and
sorry,
Spurs.
win their game in hand.
West Ham.
Chelsea are out of the top 4.
Oh,
Yeah. If,
Everton's game in hand is flipping against Chelsea Monday.
yeah, you
No,
lose that.
no, they've got a game in hand on you, so it'll be that one, and then they've got another one after.
Yeah,
so
but that's what I'm saying.
also,
Potentially, if they lose that,
Yeah.
don't mean
if
nothing. does it?
Spurs and Villa win, they're 2 games in hand. I think they've got on
Yep, they
Liverpool, they go
Liverpool.
9.
Liverpool. Liverpool go 9th.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Five,
but Villa have got to
Current
win, though.
champions go 9th.
5 points ahead of Arsenal, who could overtake them?
That's mad, isn't it?
I hope
That's
so.
mad. Imagine we were talking about Arteta like a few weeks back, saying about how Arteta was like sort of in relegation battle, and all of a sudden Liverpool are now currently like 5 points away from them.
Yeah.
This is mad.
I mean, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Like, since we're already talking on it, obviously, I'm assuming you guys watched the game today, no?
No,
Liverpool.
I wasn't able to.
Yeah, I watched it.
So, seeing the team that he put out, I know that's going to be the first excuse. Oh, we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
They're focusing on the Champions League. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing. They
exactly.
think, oh, we got a chance to get into the quarterfinals, then we'll get to semis, then we'll win the Champions
I think
League.
he came out and said he ain't focusing solely on the Champions League.
There's
So
no way
I-
you put out
Yeah,
Neco
no,
Williams,
exactly.
the other Williams and
And
Phillips,
Phillips.
and not
but-
say you're focusing on the
But
Premier League.
Fulham.
still, that squad should still probably win at home against Fulham.
Fulham.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
with the defensive problems you're having at
But
the
they-
moment,
they-
you
they
can't
need-
play
Fulham.
under 23
All I have to
players
say is
against
Fulham.
Josh Madger, who
shouldn't-
is unbelievable, by the way.
Yeah, he didn't score.
Fulham.
though.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It was Mo Salah's mistake that
Fulham
led to
against
Fulham's
Sheffield
goal.
United.
This is the thing. Fulham's team is not bad.
They got a good
Yeah.
team.
They're not bad. I
Mm.
don't know why people keep saying, "Oh, Fulham this, Fulham that." Don't get it
No, no.
twisted. I love an agenda. I'm a big.
I'm
agenda.
sure last week,
Oh,
it
we
was either
know.
last week or the week before when we had the failed podcast. But all I said about Fulham
He always
actually
brings
been a
this
quality
up.
team this season. I think they've been a quality team this season. However, Liverpool should be beaten then. Let's not brush over it. Liverpool shouldn't be struggling and having a 1-0 win over them. Look at their front 3 that they had out. Shaqiri, Jota, and Salah to begin with. Like, come on. They've
You
got to
had-
be scoring a goal.
You had Diego No goal up front. Yeah, just come back from injury. Then you had what's it called?
Shaqiri.
What's his name? Shedan. Yeah. Who's
That
been
was a waste of
benched
space,
for
bro.
how long now? And then you got
Since he joined
Salah.
Liverpool.
Yeah. You got Mr. Salah himself.
You got Salah.
He still scores goals though.
No, I'm joking. I just love a Liverpool agenda. Obviously,
Oh,
you got a great front three,
Yeah.
and midfield-wise as well, they had a solid midfield. Fabinho was finally back in midfield.
Mm.
Should have been controlling the way we expect him to. Keita,
Yeah, Keita, yeah.
Naby Keita, yeah.
baller. And then who was
Okay.
the midfielder that was playing with them?
James
Widgie.
Wijnaldum and
Wijnaldum.
Wijnaldum Milner were playing as
Oh,
well.
God.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
My topic is injuries, okay? So I'm going to give you some stats because I was called Statman Dave during the week. So can we really say that this season is back down to Liverpool having players out? So this season, Leicester have had 9 players out. West Ham have had 6 players out. Everton have had 6 players out. Crystal Palace have had 10 players out. Newcastle and Sheffield United have had 7 players out. And they're fighting to stay in the league. We don't hear about them crying about it every single week. But Liverpool have a couple of players out. Yes, I know that one of them was Virgil van Dijk.
How many players have they had out?
I don't actually know if I'm honest. I'm not going to stat on that. I don't, and I don't really care. But when they've, for example, got Leicester who've had 9 players out over this season, right? I've not even got Man City in there. Bearing in mind they haven't had De Bruyne for half the season or Aguero. But I'm sorry, we can't keep talking about Liverpool going, oh yeah, but it's all the injuries. Leicester's flying up there as always. Everton's having one of the best seasons they've ever had, and they've had 6 players out over the season. And like, you only have Sheffield United, who last season did so fantastically well, going, oh well, the reason we're bottom of the league is because we've had like all these injuries every single week. We can't keep going. Liverpool, oh yeah, I'm really sorry, but R.I.P. Virgil van Dijk. Like, he's not died. The guy had, yes, a bad injury, but he's not died. And yet it's always like, oh, rest in peace, mate.
You make a good point though. Like for me, last season, Man City had a very shaky defense. I mean, Fernandinho spent half the season in defense. Like, they've got an issue, and I know that's similar to Liverpool this season, but Pep didn't make excuses. He got on with it, and I think he's loving it at the moment. I know a bad result today, but he's loving it at the moment. He is taking digs at Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Before we get to United, just to carry on a little bit more on that Liverpool thing, I don't feel like we've fully touched on it yet. At the end of the day, they can do the excuse thing more than a team like Sheffield United. And reason being is Sheffield United are just trying to stay in the Prem, whereas Liverpool are trying to achieve the Premier League, which means you ideally need your strongest squad to do so. Like, regardless if Leicester done it back in the day, that was their strongest squad. They didn't have, well, as far as I'm aware, 7 or 8 injuries that could have affected
them. They made 27 changes
but
this season.
Liverpool have a lot more money than Sheffield to build a bigger squad and a much stronger squad. The injuries shouldn't be affecting them as much as it should Sheffield United, let's say.
Exactly.
So you say about Leicester, right? Are they currently overachieving for Leicester?
No, Leicester. Listen, after Leicester won that Prem, they are considered should be in the top 4 or top 6 minimum. They
not really, because after they won the Prem, they were like about to get relegated, and then they were a mid-table team until Brendan Rodgers came in.
I really don't like them.
Nah, I don't mind Leicester. Leicester are nice.
I think Nathan's got a point.
When Brendan Rodgers came in, then
it was a couple seasons after when Rodgers came in.
Okay. Everton.
Like,
should Everton be 5th?
What I'm saying.
Should West Ham be 6th?
Yes. No. Higher. 4th.
No. At the end of the day, I think that both teams, Everton, West Ham, I think they're having fantastic seasons.
West Ham have
but they have all.
This is the thing, like,
and they've got a good
manager.
manager.
West Ham have a strong squad. Are you mad?
They have
6 players out.
Go on, I love this. Go on. Shout
West
out
Ham have a great squad and an unbelievable manager.
Are you crazy? He's balling out of his skin right now. Souček, I'll even have him at Chelsea.
Of course. But he's had 6 players out this season. He's had 6 players out this season.
Who?
And I think Lewis can confirm here, yeah. Did you guys have 6 players all out at once? Or was it one was out, and then by the time one was finished, the one that was injured is now coming back just in time? Same with Leicester. When one goes, I think it was Ndidi went, Tielemans came back. When Tielemans came, someone else came.
No, Leicester at one point had about 5 of their starting 11 not in the squad.
Name me those players.
Okay, let me find it.
Madison's been out for a while.
While Jamie's looking for that, on your point,
Wesley Fofana.
I don't think it impacted us that bad. We did have like one key player out, and then they came back, and then we had another out. I think maybe maximum 2 at once. So at the moment, we've got Ogbonna out. And last game, we missed Ogbonna and Fabianski, which was quite big. Fabianski was just before the game, but I think he's back now. And Antonio we've had out for a little while, but yeah.
Antonio, he seems like he's always injured, man.
No, but have you seen? He don't stop.
I know. Yeah.
Runs and runs.
He's mental. He is.
Does not stop, does he? Poor guy. Poor hamstrings. You got to feel for him, ain't you?
Yeah, he's got massive hamstrings, man. He'll be fine.
Did you find it, Jamie?
I can tell you right now. Okay, this is current stat as well. Right now, Leicester have 7 players out injured.
Yeah. How many do Liverpool have?
Liverpool. Let me see if I can
Liverpool have 8. I think.
Look at the weight of the players. Yeah. The weight of them.
Liverpool have 8. Yeah.
Liverpool have 8. You have to look at which players are missing and whether they're from their starting 11, whether they're just squad players.
Well, I know Madison and
Barnes.
Yeah.
Barnes are out.
Evans.
Plus they've got Evans out. That's 3 key players.
Liverpool also signed, right, Phillips and Kabak, right, because they've got the money to be able to sign players. Yeah.
Kabak was a loan deal.
Yeah, but they've still signed him. They've still signed him. Regardless, they have signed a player to replace a centre back position, haven't they? Regardless whether it's a loan deal or not, they have brought a player in to solve that problem. Now, how many times have those 2 players played?
Kabak's played quite a lot since he's joined.
Yeah, he's played a bit.
Ben Davies hasn't played, has he?
I don't think he has.
Nah, he got injured straight away, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's still fit. He's still fit.
But he's also a Champions League player. I don't know why they bought him.
Yeah,
I don't know why they waited until the last day of the transfer window.
They had so many people they could have bought.
Thing is, you stayed
because they will still get revenue from merchandise and stuff like that. They could fully justify buying a player of 25 to 30 million, but they didn't. They bought Ben Davies for, was it like 2 million or something?
Yeah, 2 mil.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously cheap.
Well, Liverpool buy on potential, on a player that is coming up. Salah, prime example. He was doing good at Roma, but he wasn't seen as a world-class player yet. Mane, another one. Firmino, another one. You see what I'm saying? All of their players that they have in that team. Even Hendo that's balling out now, he was not considered when Klopp came in as a top player.
Let's not forget Robertson.
But Hendo was always considered to be Gerrard's successor, so they always thought he was going to be a top player in the future.
Yeah, but not to the level that he's at now, though. I think even he could say that for himself, that no one expected him to reach the kind of heights that he did. The only player, as far as I'm aware, that has been bought purely based on the fact that they had a great top season. They were wanted by many clubs was Alisson and what's his name?
Thiago.
Van Dijk and Thiago. That's it. 3 players. You can't expect them to go and buy Koulibaly when his contract might not be finishing, for example. You see what I'm saying? Or someone else. But if the risk of not finishing in the top 4 is that high, surely you've got it.
And they have the money to do it. They could have bought Upamecano, just like what Bayern did, and then paid a bit extra to get him in January rather than in season.
Not mid-season, though. That's the thing. It would have been a next season project.
Yeah, but they could have paid more money to get him this season. They could have paid...
That's if Leipzig released him.
Yeah.
And
can I also remind you, when Liverpool played City, and City absolutely thumped them,
destroyed them.
City was without De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Laporte, Mendy, Walker, and Aguero.
Yeah, and look at the rest of the players that were there, though. You had
you got to look at the players.
You were saying about influential players.
It's true though, but City have 2 or 3 squads.
Yeah,
full of players.
City literally have enough players for 2 squads.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then could you not argue that if Liverpool are buying players like Kabak and that aren't up to the standard of the rest of the players already, this is why City is so far ahead of everyone else. And people keep saying that, they spent so much money, but they're spending them on talent that they need right now. Yeah. So when they get the injuries, they can afford to do that. If Liverpool are moaning about injuries, buy the talent as a backup.
That's what I'm saying. Liverpool didn't need to buy Kabak and Ben Davies, who weren't going to be long-term fixes. They were supposed to be short-term fixes, really. Yeah. They needed to go for a player that was more world-class than those 2.
If anything, it was more of a chance for players like Williams to come in.
Williams and Phillips.
Yeah.
I don't think they've looked bad at times either.
No, they haven't been.
I don't even conceded that many goals.
The only reason why I was talking the way I was talking is just to kind of play the devil's advocate bit. But going on more to the against section, I would even say I can't hear the injury stuff as much simply because when Hendo and Fabinho were together, they were pretty much solid. Nothing was really getting past them anyway. So
they were top of the league, weren't they? that point. And then
up until Christmas, and then they've won less points since Christmas than Fulham have.
That's not a stat, isn't it?
Heard it on Sky Sports today.
6 games now that he lost at home as well. 1-0 Burnley, 1-0 Brighton, 4-1 City, 2-0 Everton, 1-0 Chelsea, 1-0 Fulham. So one goal scored, which was a penalty.
So on that point from Cags, you can't say that like those injuries are really like, even with all those injuries that have happened, you still expect Liverpool at home to beat Burnley, Fulham, and Brighton. Maybe not Chelsea with the injuries, but you still expect those teams to win.
Yeah, they've got to be. They've lost to like 4 out of the bottom 6, haven't they?
Yeah, and before that, they dropped points to West Brom as well, didn't they? At Anfield.
I don't know if that's a complete stat. I don't know if it is 4 out of the bottom 6, but
who
did they lose to? Lost to Sheffield United, didn't they?
Yeah, lost to Fulham now. They
lost to
Fulham. They lose to Sheffield United. They beat them 2-0.
Did they beat Sheffield United?
Yeah, it was last week, isn't it?
Have I got that wrong?
Yeah, no, they did.
They beat Sheffield because I placed a bet on Sheffield to win.
Okay, so Fulham, they drew against West Brom.
Let me see.
Yep.
Brighton, did they lose against?
They lost to Brighton.
They lost to Brighton. Lost to Fulham.
Who else did they lose against?
They lost against somebody else down there, didn't they?
Burnley.
Burnley,
yeah. They were the ones that ended it.
And then Chelsea.
Yeah.
Burnley were the ones to get the win. The first team.
So
I remember as well when Burnley beat them, nobody was saying that Liverpool were like not top 4 contenders.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone was saying, "Oh, well, it's okay. It's just a little bit of a patch. Like it's just one of those lucky games that Burnley got or whatever."
I mean, it was the game before that was wrong. So they in their go on, Adam.
No, you go.
So you go on. I insist.
Yeah. So obviously, in everyone's mind, knowing the Liverpool that we know, everyone's thinking, "Oh, it's just a rough patch." Every team's gone through it. Spurs gone through it. Arsenal's going through it. Chelsea went through it. United at one point went through it. So everyone's just thinking, "Oh, it's just a rough patch." But what it's turned out to be is worse. So
it's still a rough patch.
I'd say United are still going through the rough patch as well at the moment, even though we beat City today. I'd say we're still going through it.
Well, we'll see, innit? Apparently, excluding penalties and own goals, Liverpool have failed to score from each of their last 115 shots at Anfield in the Premier League. So
Opta, terrible, isn't it?
That's Opta, the people that collects stats, since 2006, 2007, this is the longest scoreless run of shots at home by any team.
Hey, so while
is that down to the lack of fans? Maybe.
No, everyone's losing fans.
Yeah, but
you can't just blame fans.
I know, I'm just saying. But you know the impact that the Liverpool fans have, especially in the Kop end. You know how much they get behind their team. So could it be down to the fans? Could the Liverpool players be bricking it because
there's a small percentage that's down to the fans. There is a small percentage, especially because we all know that Anfield's a scary place at the minute. Anfield, I mean, last season, if you look at Anfield last season, it became the Old Trafford, didn't it, of the Fergie days. Like Fergie days, you were scared to go to Old Trafford, and Anfield's become a bit like that. I know it always has been, but yeah, it's become even more like nowadays when Klopp's built it, it's quite a bit of a fortress. But they can't use that as an excuse as much. Yes, of course, it'll make a little bit of an impact, but at the end of the day, they should still be able to play a game of football without some fans. As much as, yes, it will hype people up. Nobody else is complaining about losing fans.
Yeah, but
you don't see like Sheffield United, Brighton, and people that are fighting relegation. Newcastle really rely on fans. Yeah. Newcastle they sell out their stadium every single week, even though they hate the owner.
A toxic environment, though, isn't it?
You know what I mean? And it is a toxic environment. I've been to Newcastle Stadium. I hate it. But rely on those fans and their support network. As a Middlesbrough fan, I hate to say it, but their support network is fantastic. They've got a huge support network. But in the same respect, you can't blame fans all the time. Not the way that Liverpool playing at the minute.
Go on, Lewis.
You still will expect them to score though. Anyway, at least
16
once.
shots against Fulham today. 3 on target. There's something wrong, isn't there?
That's alright. No, that's alright, mate. I'll wait for you to finish. It's all good.
Living on
By person. Very patient.
Then, Lewis.
Just sitting here. No, I wanted to earlier. So when you were talking about the stats, I wanted to add one in. There's I don't get to add these often, but West Ham are the only team, and I I honestly, if this changes in the next game, let's not talk about it. But West Ham are the only current Premier League team not to concede a goal from a mistake. Now that is mad, considering we were fighting relegation last season.
What's the definition of a mistake?
Well, an error leading to a goal. So I'd say probably like an error.
Like Xhaka yesterday.
Like a block pass type thing.
Something
right,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think any dispossession which wasn't intended probably conceded within the next 5 seconds or something like that, I'd imagine.
That's a mad stat, isn't it?
Yeah. West Ham only team. And this is an unreal defensive season. I don't know what Moyes has done. I really don't. But West Ham are...
Well, to be fair, he's always been like a defensive masterclass brainiac, hasn't he? So
he has. And I think if you look at the individual players in our team, I think the main ethos is everyone moves to the ball constantly. Like Kufau is always running. Antonio don't stop running. Fornals gets in the team. People don't like Fornals in the team, but he don't stop running. He does defending, does everything you want. And every player in the team does that. Rice, Souček, they don't stop. And
I think
that work effort's helping.
I think having Rice and Souček in front of your back 4, back 5, whatever you play has helped your team massively.
Oh, massively.
Those two working together is unbelievable.
No, I agree.
Each other every time. One person goes to press, one will cover, one will go forward with the ball, one will cover. It's amazing watching them.
If they do get past, we've got, and surprisingly, 2. Dawson, first of all, I don't know how he's got into 10. Don't even get onto that, because this guy has come from a championship club that didn't want him. And West Ham fans at the start of the season were like, "What on earth is that? What the fuck is that sign?" I'm not even lying. That I looked at it and was like, "No way." He's probably up with Ogbonna in our best 2 centre backs in the team. He's been phenomenal, and I don't know how. I don't know. David Moyes has got some magic potion or something, because something's going on.
I think David Moyes is doing kind of what he did back at Everton.
Yeah, and I hope he does, and I hope we keep rising.
Working.
Just need the board to back him for what he wants now.
Anyway, still talking about like some of the games from the weekend and midweek.
Yeah.
Moving over to United. Man United, obviously, we all know it's a ball fest when they play like a top 6 club. Today they won 2-0. Fernandes. I was going to say Fernandes, but Fernandes. He what's it called? Obviously scored today, but before that he had an interview talking about the fact that he doesn't agree with the internet talking about how he goes missing and whatnot, because he does eventually give an assist or score a goal. And he said he scored the penalty versus Spurs. Said it quite proudly. I scored the penalty.
We lost 6-1, boy.
We lost 6-1, but it felt like we lost 6-0 because they're not counting my like what I done in the game. So he scored again today, penalty. Did he go missing or not?
No.
I played well today.
No, he played really well today. He was finding pockets of space between midfield and defence, even between their attack and midfield. He was dropping deep. He was playing. He was back to Bruno today. From when he first signed, where he was trying to play those passes that not every midfielder would go for. And
the way this guy tracks back is insane.
Yeah.
I can't comment because I didn't really watch the game today, so.
Finally, shut up.
But the internet. On him going missing in games. Him going missing in games. I think that's down to the way that we set up in games, especially against the top 6. We set up to defend and try and hit them on the counter. That doesn't fit a player of Bruno's ability. He wants to get on. He's like De Bruyne. He wants to get on the ball all the time and then play those short passes, then the long passes. If we're sitting back defending, playing for the counter, he's not going to get in the positions where he can score a goal or even create a goal. It's down to the front 3 because they're the ones that try and hit on the counter with their speed.
Okay, so from a non-Man United point of view, I do think he played well today, and I think a lot of people look at it and say, "Oh, he didn't do much." And again, that goes back to what Adam Umar was saying. The way Man United set up, and especially against City had a lot of the ball today and were dominating in a lot of areas, but people won't look at that side. And the same with like Mourinho's Spurs. They'll be like, "Oh no, they're just defensive side and they don't know how to play football." But there's different sides of football, and if Man United don't play like that today, they definitely don't get a win. Man City will outplay any team on the field if you play the way that you want them to, they want you to play. So Man U setting up like that today was the perfect thing they should have done. And I think Bruno did. He was passing out. The tracking back, even Rashford as well. The whole team were just going and going and going. Daniel James, phenomenal today, I think. He doesn't stop running either, and he's runs in behind. He runs with the ball. Luke Shaw, he's run with the ball, unbelievable. I think Man U played very well today. Although I do think Man City had a lot of chances that they did not take at all.
Oh yeah.
But no, credit to Man U today. I think they did play well, and Bruno did play well too.
Comparing Luke Shaw to Roberto Carlos now, he's having a good season. Would you say that he's a guaranteed Euro starter?
Yep.
You feel
He has
like
to be.
Southgate might not use it?
Yeah.
He has to be. Even if we play 5 at the back, 4 at the back, he has to be. He can play left centre back. He can play left wing back. He can play left back. He's by far the best English left back we've got at the moment.
I mean, obviously,
Cresswell. I know he's going to bring this up.
There's Chilwell, which I think should be in the contention. So I think it's a mix because obviously Tuchel's come in, it's changed a little bit. But Aaron Cresswell could be in the running.
He's been good. I will say that.
He has been very, very good.
He's been good, to be fair.
Well, Luke Shaw offers something different, I believe. But Cresswell has also slotted in at centre back. And his forward passes are very good this season. I've not seen that side of him. Maybe it's something more to put out on him. But yeah.
Cax, what do you make of Chilwell this season, though?
I like him. I like Chilwell, but obviously, I think he is definitely better in a back four than
the system change in it really affected him.
And I think he just needs to get used to it. So I feel like with a few games, if obviously he gets the opportunity, then he'll get it. Because defending wise, he's a good defender. He usually doesn't get caught out, from what I see at least. And going forward wise, he's quite good. Obviously, you can improve maybe on the final ball when it comes to the crossing, because a lot of them don't usually reach one of our players, but obviously it comes down to a block and whatnot. But I still think he's the top left back. That being said, although I think Luke Shaw has been the best left back this year in terms of in the Prem, I do believe low key Chilwell would start over him if Southgate opts for the 3 at the back system and Chilwell gets used to that system in Chelsea. I think he would start and Luke Shaw would eventually be benched. I don't know what you lot are thinking about that one.
Do you think Shaw would be found out in international?
No.
I really like Shaw going forwards. I think he's phenomenal, but I think his defensive side does lack a little bit. Like I don't trust Shaw defensively, and I don't think he's been bad. And today he played pretty well. But I think most of the times when I look at Luke Shaw, his defensive side does let him down sometimes. But he does he's driving with the ball is unbelievable. Him going forwards, that's massive. Imagine he had Wan-Bissaka's defensive side as well as that attacking side. Them two together.
Imagine if Wan-Bissaka had a Trent.
Yeah, and other way around. Yeah, as well.
You know what Shaw reminds me of? He reminds me a little bit like Milner. It's just sort of like a bit steady and a bit like sort of, he does the job, doesn't he? Doesn't do anything special. He's not that flair player that you see. He's not that Wan-Bissaka that puts that last ditch tackle in, or that Trent that's constantly up and down the line or whatever. He's steady, isn't he? He doesn't do anything special. He just does the job, doesn't he?
Jerry, I thought you was going to absolutely mug him off there. I honestly thought you was about to go in on Luke Shaw.
I like Milner. I think Milner's like still quality. I know that I think he's probably now getting to the point where he probably needs to step away from Liverpool's side. I don't know. Maybe to look at maybe another top 4 sort of team.
He should go back to Leeds.
Yeah. I think Leeds would be too much of a job for him.
Too much running, I know that, but I mean,
he's well fit.
He's very fit though, isn't he?
He's the fittest player in Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, what is he, like 50 years old now, man?
Yeah,
but to
be fair, Fernandinho is also like 35, 36 now, isn't he? And he doesn't knock out a place that Man City team.
He's less game time now.
Did Fernandinho play today? He didn't, did he?
No, he's injured.
No, he's injured.
I'll tell you what, Rodri's coming into his own though. He's been unbelievable, I think, this season.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. And again, those kind of players, I don't think get the credit they deserve. Like everyone says, they don't do anything, so they don't get goals and assists. But that pivot role, the role of just sitting there and passing sideways and keeping the flow going, is so difficult. And he does carry the ball as well. Today he was getting forwards as well. It's such a difficult role because
he almost
don't get enough
scored
credit.
well.
He did the crossbar, and they just don't get enough credit for it. It's a horrid role, isn't it?
Another one is Rice. I think he needs more credit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know he gets it, but I just feel like he needs more of it.
It's mixed. I think it's mixed because people see, he's at West Ham, so he's going to get more of these stats. But if anything, it makes it harder. He's not getting. If he was at a top side, it might be different. But for me, I don't see what he don't have in his game. Like he carries the ball, he passes the ball, he's got all sorts of ranges. He can defend. He's unbelievable. He doesn't stop moving. He carries the ball. Like I don't see what he can't do. He's even been shooting. He's taking their set pieces at points now. Like, he is literally doing everything. He is running the team at the moment, in my opinion.
So
if he was in Liverpool, City, United, or Chelsea's team, do you think he would be classed as one of the best players in the country? In his role.
Without being biased, I think 100%. Just for what he
would. If Kante left and put him next to like a Kovacic, for example, or Jorginho, then I don't think because I don't know, man. I see him more as the kind of guy that is going to win the ball, intercept, and just keep it flowing, kind of thing, rather than be the guy that's going to win you the game. And I feel like with Chelsea, he would be kind of a perfect balance. But I don't know. That's why, for example, if I see him linked with United, I think it's a waste because they already got that kind of play in Scott McTominay, in my opinion. And even Fred now is becoming that kind of player. So I don't feel like he needs to go to that kind of team. But
would you choose him over Fred, though? You'd choose him over Fred, 100%. Surely.
Yeah, massively.
Surely.
No. I can't do this.
Shut up, Lewis.
So, no. Listen.
Very underrated.
I watch McTominay a lot, and I don't see what people see in him. Like, whenever I watch McTominay, he does not do enough. And I understand this is the argument that people should say on Rice. But like today, McTominay gave the ball away at least 5 or 6 times that I see from simple passes. And I see this all the time. And then he scores 2 goals and be like, oh my God, McTominay is so good. No, I don't think that McTominay is that good, in my opinion.
How many does Rice score?
I see. I'm not on about goals. I'm saying that. No. I'm not saying the goals. I'm saying my point here is that his role, what he does, I don't think he does that well enough to be in a Man United team compared to another player you could have there. I would put Van der Beek in there.
Yeah, but different roles, isn't it? Different roles.
Completely different roles. Different players.
But Van der Beek's played that role before. He's played that entire midfield. Let's not forget he played for Ajax, which they learn absolutely everything. They play everywhere on the pitch.
But he played behind that striker at Ajax, though, didn't he?
He also played in a deeper defensive role.
He played everywhere, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
Isn't Van der Beek injured at the minute?
Yeah. I saw the other day, though, someone said to me that United and Liverpool made the wrong decisions. Liverpool should have signed Van der Beek and we should have signed Thiago. And just the way that those players played would have suited our system a lot more. Thiago could have sat as one of our 2 centre mids as a deep line playmaker, and then Van der Beek would have created the goals more, because that's what Liverpool missing out on. They're missing out on that player to create goals, as we spoke about before.
That'd be an interesting one, actually.
Yeah.
But I still don't think Thiago would have been good at United, though, anyway.
What was that?
I don't think Thiago would have been good at United anyway. I don't think he would have even gone to United, especially after winning the treble at Bath.
I don't think he would have gone to Villa either.
For our listeners, we're looking at getting subtitles for Nathan. Okay, I know that's understand it. we are working on that. Don't worry.
Moving on just slightly, I just want to put this in here before we move on completely.
Yeah.
19. Yeah. No one questioned my boy Mason again.
No, I love Mason. Honestly, I absolutely love him.
Question my boy Mason again. MM19. Know the name.
Know the name.
No one's bad against him.
He's ready for the West Ham next season when we get Champions League over you.
Tell him again.
Let's go.
So, moving on. Obviously, big achievement from Rangers today. They've won their 55th?
Yeah, 55th top flight title.
55th title today. So, Steven Gerrard's Rangers won it for the first time in 10 years. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Just insane, isn't it?
He's done an unbelievable job there.
He pissed the league.
Yeah. A league that Celtic have dominated for years. Let's not. Like, I know that Celtic have had problems this year, and obviously they lost Brendan Rodgers, but it was close last year. I know it wasn't like extremely close in points, but Rangers were always knocking on the door, and actually they've pissed all over it. They really have. They've just shown the whole league actually.
They haven't lost yet, have they?
They're still undefeated. They could be getting that undefeated record, and is that the
undefeated in Europe as well? I think.
I think Celtic went undefeated. Yeah.
In general,
Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, but it is unbelievable, isn't it? And for me, I think you see a lot of players transitioning into coaches and managers, but Gerrard was always a leader, and everyone see that every time he came onto the pitch for Liverpool. And I think that has exactly transitioned into his management career, and you can see that. And I think some players that come into management don't have that, and you can see it. You just knew it was Gerrard. Gerrard's just one of the players he's going to take that absolutely in. He loves.
But he's gone to the perfect role, hasn't he? Rangers weren't expecting to finish first or second. He went to Rangers whilst they were sort of just struggling or whatever. I think they've not actually been promoted. I think he went there. It was either the season afterwards or it was they'd had a season in the Prem and then he went after that.
Yeah.
But they weren't ever really contending. They were just going to try and sort of survive and then slowly build back up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done a fantastic job in. Is it 2 years he's been there now, or is this his third?
Third season.
I think this is his third now, maybe.
And he's done a great job. He didn't go, you know what, I'm going to be the Liverpool manager straight away. And as much as I like Lampard, he went from Derby, didn't successfully get Derby up.
I know.
And then somehow managed to get the top 4 club of Chelsea.
I know.
It didn't make sense. And I understand why they did it, because of the transfer budget and stuff like that. But he should never been given that opportunity.
He went there too early.
It is mental.
But you're not going to turn that job down, are you?
No,
that's
Chelsea's fault for hiring.
There's a reason why Gerrard never went to Liverpool. It's because he didn't get offered it. If he got offered it, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But it wouldn't have been the right appointment, though, would it? I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, it wouldn't have been the right appointment. Why give the biggest jobs to people that have just finished the game when actually get themselves experience first? You don't go to a 17-year-old that has not had much experience. You know what? We're going to put you in Man City starting 11 right now. And you're going to be absolutely smashing it in every single game. You go, right, actually, no, you build your way up through it.
But Pep Guardiola done it at Barca. Zidane done the three-peat with Real Madrid. All he was 1 or 2 seasons as an assistant for Carlo. I think it was 1. And he done the three-peat. Yeah. Then the last manager that done it now, what's it called? Gerrard. He went straight into Rangers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He was at Liverpool under 23s.
Yeah, and
Liverpool, yeah. But he didn't go to the top 4 of the Prem. Now we can all agree that there was
no offers though. If
but
someone offered him the job, he's taken that job.
Yeah, I'm not saying no. But I'm not saying that by Gerrard going there was the right I'm not saying that he consciously went, I need to go for a weaker team before I go to a big team. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is they don't need to go straight to the best team going. I think Lampard personally should have stayed at Derby for another season. I know that if you get offered big bucks at a Chelsea job, and let's face it, we all know if you go to Chelsea, not only are you going to get paid big bucks, but then when you get sacked, you're going to get even more money. So I can't blame him for going there because he's now sorted for a few years. But really, what he should have done is gone, no, you know what? I want to try and stay with Derby, get a bit more experience before I go for that top job.
I think it's a weird one, though, isn't it? Because obviously, Chelsea boy through and through, you can tell. You get offered the job of the team that you obviously are in love with. 9 out of 10 times you're going to take it. I think the only one that's done what you said is Xavi, where the club have obviously contacted him and said, listen, we want you to be a manager.
And he stayed out in Qatar.
Yeah.
But Barcelona, isn't he? Barcelona, absolutely right state at the moment.
So obviously,
I guess you could say Gerrard's better than Lampard as a player and a manager, then, isn't it?
Can you?
Scholes is better than both of them.
Oh, he's just got his first title, hasn't
he? Yes, Lewis, he has.
He has.
Big up Gerrard, though. One thing that he's done that's been major is someone that obviously has come to one of our lectures before, Michael Bill, top assistant. He was an assistant for Regenio Ceni in São Paulo. He was an assistant. What other clubs did he go to? He was at Chelsea as well at one point.
I was going to say he was at
Chelsea. Liverpool as well, I think, I
think he worked with like Mason Mount, Declan Rice, those kind of players when he was at Chelsea. I might be wrong though, but yeah. So he was at Liverpool as well, yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool, Sao Paulo, and Chelsea. I think.
Yeah. So he's obviously got a lot of experience in the game, and even Gerrard said it himself. Like he's not even half the coach that Bill is, but I think what Gerrard's done well is just notice who he needs to bring in, and I think this is why it's working. Same with Oli. The minute Oli brought in X, Y, and Z to come and coach, all of a sudden he up a level.
I was about players. I thought it was about players.
As soon as he brought back, he realised he had to bring back Mike Phelan.
Bruno.
As soon as he brought in Bruno. Mate, we all know that United overrely Bruno.
He brought in some people to coach, obviously, separately, and since then United's gone up. I still have my conspiracies that Alex Ferguson's up there calling him.
Nah, Ollie's having a cup of tea.
I hope he is. telling Ollie.
I think we're like Scooby-Doo, innit? And who is this monster?
Yeah.
You can tell Fergie's just texting Ollie and the tactics on the sideline that gets pet all the time.
Fergie's doing the analysis up in the stands.
Well, it's like, shut up, you lost 2 Champions League finals against him. I know what I'm doing.
Back to Rangers, yeah. Obviously, the achievement that they've done this year is nuts because, in my opinion, Rangers and Celtic, like regardless of where Rangers have been, relegation, coming back up, whatnot, you will always consider them to be the team that is going to compete for the league, no matter where they are in the previous years. That's my opinion. Rangers are that kind of club. But the goals they scored this year, 77, they conceded 9 goals, 24 clean sheets. So what they've done is crazy, crazy numbers.
Unreal.
But people online are saying, sorry to blow the bubbles, yeah, but there's 55 Scottish Premier Leagues titles that, Rangers have won. Celtic have won 51, unless I'm wrong, yeah? The next ones are Aberdeen, Hearts and Hibs, yeah? That's won 4.
Yeah.
So, basically what some people are saying online, yeah, is that it's a Farmers League. It's not really the biggest achievement, and if you get a Rangers or a Celtic job, you should kind of be winning the league anyway. What do you think about that?
I think with the position that Rangers have been in, no.
I think that Rangers were always expected to compete. Like, I don't think that they were going to come in and win the title immediately, and obviously they've finally got it now. But I think, as you were saying, you look at the rest of the teams, those 2 are the biggest clubs in Scotland. And I'm sure if, for some reason, Chelsea got knocked down to the Championship or League One or whatever, they would build their way back up and they'd be a top team again. And obviously I know it's different amount of numbers, but those are really the only top 2 teams that people ever talk about in Scotland because be enough. And even when Celtic were winning the league over and over again, no one cared about the teams that would finish in 2nd or 3rd. No one cared about them competing. It was just, yep, Celtic's great again. Yeah, we don't care about the rest. So now I think Rangers come back in. I think that was always going to be the case. It was just how quick they would win. For me.
The last non-Celtic Rangers manager
Alex Ferguson.
Was Alex Ferguson, yeah. So
1980, something like that.
Like 1940.
Yeah, it was a year or 2 before he came to United.
So this is where the question comes back in then.
Yeah.
The numbers, 55 titles for Rangers, 51 for Celtic, 4 for 3 other clubs, and that is it in the history of Scottish Premier Leagues. Is the title that they won really should we be hyping it as much as we are, or is it still a good achievement?
If you look at the stats of their defence when they were the season before he joined, they were conceding so many more goals, and he's got it to what you said 9 goals this season they've conceded.
9 and 20
yeah. He's done a great job there, and from the position that Rangers were in, Celtic were dominating the league every single season for the past 6, 7 years.
9 years.
9
years.
Yeah, 9 years.
This was this
9
was
in a row, innit?
Yeah,
9
years.
Yeah.
And Gerrard has got Rangers. Don't know where they were when he joined, but he's got them from trying to stay safe. Really, they would have been trying to stay up, and then he's got them to winning the Championship in a couple seasons. He's done a great job.
Yeah. And I've got to say, right, you see when Celtic were winning the league year in, year out, I know we're just talking about the Scottish League, but if you look at in Europe and stuff, Celtic were always struggling. And Rangers, they pissed through in the Europa League. They smashed Antwerp, and now they're in the last 16 in the Europa League as well. So I think you've got to look at it all together, innit?
But remember as well, Rangers went into liquidation nearly 10 years ago. It was 2012, I think, right? So I'm just trying to get it up. Right, so 2012 they went into liquidation. Right, then 2013 they got put into the 3rd division, and they won that. Then obviously they went into the 2nd division, and I think they took a couple of years to.
I think they won it straight away. Then they got back-to-back promotions all the way up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, League One title race. Yeah.
Nathan with the knowledge.
That's it, Nathan.
Don't you need my phone, Jamie?
Probably pay for some analysts in the background.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So So at the end of the day, right, after what they've done in that time period, okay, in the last 10 years, if your club went into liquidation 9 years ago, to say they've got a league title now, that's got to be classed as a really good achievement, regardless to what league it's in. You can't go from liquidation, your club literally, like, technically no longer existing, to winning the league in 9 years. You can't, like, it's a quality achievement. Of course it is.
I think it's been understated because of the lead. I think. What's happening? Have I missed something?
Everyone's just dead silent.
Dead silent.
You
You know what? I'm waiting for the referee topic. I am waiting for the referee topic. That's what I'm waiting for.
Because with Jamie, you don't know when he's going to be quiet. He could ramble on for hours.
You just got to wait.
Is it me, you, him? Like,
no one knows who's going to lose.
Just each other.
you still lost what to say, man.
We might have to actually add the hands up thing when we want to speak, right? Jamie, yep, you've had enough, mate. Hands up now. My turn.
I just want to make one point on what Cax said about the Scottish League being kind of a farmers' league. So Rangers went to liquidation like 9 years ago, something like that. It kind of shows how, like Aberdeen, I think that's the next big team, didn't really challenge Celtic at all for a title, and that was kind of their big chance to try and win a league title, and no other Scottish team did it. So it kind of really shows that it is a farmers' league, but Celtic and Rangers are the big boys, and if you're a manager at one of those clubs, you are expected to win the title. And it's basically like Barcelona, Real Madrid. If you manager one of those clubs, you're expected to win the title each year.
Jamie, can you get it done in 5 minutes? Can you get your rant done in 5 minutes?
Just send the voice note.
My one question, and I'll be completely honest. Are English referees one of the worst referees in the world?
I don't know, because I don't watch other refs from other.
In the top 5, I'd say they're probably the worst in the top 5 leagues.
How can you say that if you haven't watched?
Okay.
I don't.
I'll give you something then.
Football regularly.
I know refs in Brazil are a mess. A mess.
That's why I said top 5 European league.
Okay. So this is why I'm saying it, right? Champions League. All right. Last year's Champions League. In total, there were 2 referees that were English in that Champions League. Out of all of the games, there was only 2 referees that were English. Bearing in mind there was, 30, 40 plus, 30 to 40 referees in there, and 2 were English. The rest were from Netherlands. Germany's a very popular one. Spain's a very popular one. France was another popular one. And I think, so Netherlands, Spain, Germany, and France were the 4 main popular referees. Why do we never hear about stuff going wrong with like referees? I know that we don't watch it, and I know it's not as well covered. But why do we never hear as much wrong going in like the Spanish league or the Italian league or stuff like that? Even with VAR.
No, because it's not well covered.
But one sec. But you don't hear the Spanish fans all complain about the referees every single week.
Do you go on Spanish Twitter?
Yeah. I'm fluent. I'm fluent in Spanish.
Yep, give us a sentence.
Look, I have great admiration for referees on the fact that it's a hard job. At the end of the day, they really, unless you work in Premier League or you get VAR and other leagues that have VAR, so they only really get one chance to sort of see it, right? And the statistics say that referees normally get 95% of their decisions in a game correct. So that's pretty high, and like you can't argue with that. However, when we've got stuff that's happening that is ridiculous. Now, yes, I'm going to talk about the EFL. I'm not going to talk about Middlesbrough, though. Don't worry. I know there was a terrible decision with the Middlesbrough game yesterday, and there are lots of people.
Jamie, what happened? Because I didn't watch.
It was a clear foul, wasn't it?
So no,
there's not enough coverage on it, Adam.
The Swansea player kicked him right as Balassi away. The bowler's hit an absolute beauty into the goal. The referee's blown it for a foul on
Balassi.
Balassi's made a foul. And it was a terrible decision. And like everyone was sat there, commentators, it's all over social media. Like Lineker even tweeted about it, saying it was disgusting. But that's not just Swansea's first one, okay?
I didn't see it.
Midweek against Stoke, they had an outrageous penalty. Literally, it was not even touched basically, and the guy just went down, and he was giving him. It was 96-minute penalty.
Horrible
And we
decision.
can't believe someone else has seen it.
Terrible.
And what it is though, like I don't watch Championship until I would say like around the playoffs kind of time. That's when.
Of course, yeah.
Does the Championship have VAR?
No, and this is what I think. It should have it.
So this is the thing. The argument is that the naked eye sometimes can't see everything in full motion. And if I was looking at the Balassi thing, because that was done at such quick time, I would have thought Balassi touched him. Until obviously we go to the VAR and then we'll see he didn't. But because it was done in such quick speed, and you have to make a decision based on that moment, a lot of people are saying, "Are the refs in the wrong for that?" Because it's human error, isn't it?
I'll then make his second decision. Now, I could understand why he gave a penalty for the end of the game. However, his first decision was he went for a corner. He pointed for a corner, and then all of a sudden the Swansea players surrounded him, and then he went for a penalty. Right? I'm not just going to mention that. I'm going to mention the fact that Lee Mason did it with Brighton last week. He gave a goal and then didn't. So not just the Premier League, and that's the Premier League with VAR, right? What is going on with English referees at the minute?
With that penalty though, could the linesman have said something?
He was the closest to the action. The referee was the closest to the action. He was literally about sort of 15 yards away, 10, 15 yards away. Everyone else was too far away. Neil Warnock actually said after the game that it was apparently the fourth official that stood on the halfway line who gave the penalty.
Well, it's the right decision.
I think that's a pen.
It's the right decision because it was a penalty.
Look, I've seen him given, I've seen him not. I completely like. I do think like yes, I understand, but you can't give a corner and then go for a penalty. That's my point, especially without not checking a VAR or checking a replay. You can't ask somebody that was 45 yards away compared to yourself who was 15 yards away.
I mean, it depends, innit? Maybe there was someone in his earpiece from one of the other angles that he was reffing from, like one of the linesmen, for example, that might have said, you might have to rethink this one. Because you got to remember, I've, like, for example, I'm not a pro ref. I've reffed, let's say, for example, under 15s game before, a couple years back. And when I give a decision, I've got parents.
Yeah,
of course.
I feel that as well.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking this, fucking that. I got kids, 15-year-olds telling me, fuck off, suck your mum. And I'm definitely not giving you now. Fuck off.
Nah, honestly,
I don't think what refs are going through.
Honestly, I relate. I've refereed a few games as well. My worst one was an under 9s game. I gave a penalty to the other team. Considering their team had already been given 2 penalties, I was giving them out manically. And I've given a penalty against them.
He's my team.
He sat on the floor crying. I was like, oh no, what do I do here? He's literally on the floor crying. Like, referees, I think it's the same. Because, and I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, oh, he's crying. Do I not give it? And, like, maybe referees do it for the same. And I know there's fans not in. But potentially, does it get worse with fans? Will these decisions get even worse if there's more fans pressurising them?
125%. That's the only reason why in those El Clasicos, Barcelona get all the decisions that they get. Because all the fans, all the players go to the ref and say X, Y, and Z. The ref starts to get in this mindset, and out of nowhere, he's dishing out cards to all the Madrid players, or vice versa. But
I believe that the refereeing system in England needs to change. I think that it needs to improve the education on it. I think it's given out too easily. I know that obviously you've got to work your way up and stuff like that. I do think that it's given out a little bit too easily. I think some of the rules need to change. Okay, I know that we'll probably touch on it next week, but I think the daylight decision might be one of the best things that come into the rules. As much as it might complicate a few things to begin with, I think that will make things much better. And I think that the way that refs are paid needs to be different as well. So, for example, a championship ref, okay, is not a full-time ref. Okay, so they get paid roughly £10,000 a year plus bonuses for each game. Okay, so these referees have probably worked 5 days a week. So this is what I'm saying. I'm not angry at just the ref. I think there's fault at the system. So he's probably worked 5 days a week at his normal job, and then on a Saturday he's had to ref a game. But obviously he's going to be knackered. Of course he is. So should we be paying them more? Because at the end of the day, the Championship's one of the biggest prize funds in football. So why are they able to then be fatigued for a Championship game when it is worth so much money. Like Middlesbrough have dropped about, I think it's 7 or 8 points this season because of refereeing decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know that games are all what ifs and stuff like that. But those 7 or 8 points puts us in the top 6, and now we could potentially miss out on promotion because of refereeing fault.
I can't have sympathy for a ref that's
Middlesbrough
getting 10, 15k to ref football matches. I can't have sympathy for that. I can't lie. Because
but he's getting he's getting 10k a year though.
This guy's in Sunday League that's working 7 days a week and still managed to ref that £50 game. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't have sympathy for that's getting 15k. No chance.
But they're not a permanent employee, and the guy that's refing a £50 game, right, isn't for £100 million at the end of the season.
In fact, I
do. If you win the championship.
Henry, how do you know that he's he could be a CEO of a company? He could be.
Shut up.
I have to agree with Jamie. In the championship, if they're getting paid 10 grand a game, a year, compared to what a player gets a week, I do think they should be paying a bit more per game.
And it's not like the FA's not got the money. Like we know they have.
Well, we know the EFL is greedy, aren't they?
The league could pay a bit more. You know what I mean?
Especially bring in a full-time roster of referees and you're sorted.
Well, you could, but then if you change these guys now, for example, and you give them a full-time contract, and they're still putting out the same results, what difference has the money made?
Then we can have a go at them.
The sanctions aren't good enough. The sanctions aren't good enough either. If you remember as well, right? So if you remember a couple of years ago, and this will be my last point before we finish up, because I know that Umar needs to go. But if you remember a couple of years ago, I can't remember who it was, but there was a young referee, and he forgot his coin in the dressing room. And what he did is he got the 2 captains. I want to say it was Man City, but he got the 2 captains.
I remember this.
And he got them to do rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Right. He got banned for 3 weeks from refereeing because he forgot his coin. It didn't affect his performance of the game. He got banned for 3 weeks for forgetting a coin and getting them to play rock, paper, scissors. Like, where's the logic in that sanction? Whereas the guy that's made a fault for 2 penalties over the past week, well, I say a fault for 2 penalties, but 2 really bad decisions. So one with the bowler goal and one with the penalty, will not get any sanctions at all. A guy forgets a coin and he gets 3-week ban. I just think the refereeing system needs improving.
I mean, the league is obviously questionable. It's like, for example, when William posted the comment, I think he posted Pepe's handball.
Yeah, he did.
And everyone started thinking that he was going to get fined just because he posted that on his social media. So referees are a very touchy subject. I think the only way that refs could kind of have an easier time after making a certain decision is literally if they just come out and say why they done what they done. Because I think that just gives ease to the supporter, even the crazy ones that lose their mind over these things. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's what they needs to. Maybe that's what the FA needs to think about. Take a leaf out of Australia's book and do something very similar.
I agree.
Apart from that, or rugby, yeah, exactly. Apart from that, or even NFL, yeah, NFL,
yeah.
It's literally any other sport.
That's the thing. If anything, maybe they could have not just the FA, but like TV channels, for example. I don't know if you guys have realized on BT, there's that manager mode now.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of see it like how Ollie would see it, basically, because he's always sat in his fucking seat. So you can basically do that now. So if anything, maybe just have like a red button where you can hear everything that's being said, and it's only for 18 plus, just in case they swear words or something like that. I don't know. That would be interesting for them to look into. UEFA, hit me up. I've got the idea. Apart from that, anyone else got anything desperate to say, or are we good to go?
No, I was just gonna wrap it up by.
We need to do the sort of thing. We need to do the intro.
Yeah, I know that, mate. I was asking if you had anything to say. I know about what
I'm good. I'm good.
I was just gonna say before we wrap up, me and the other guys here, we just wanted to say a massive thank you to all of you lot that tuned in to the first episode last week. I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking maybe 30, 40 views at max.
Yeah,
and,
same.
Just before we started recording this at 6:30, I looked on there and I think we had about 130 views again. So honestly, it's just unbelievable.
And subscribers.
As a way of, I think we got 30 subscribers as well. Yeah. As a way of showing our gratitude.
We're gonna do a giveaway.
No.
Nathan, we're all students. Calm it down. We know you've got money. We have none, mate.
Me and Cax came up with an idea where you guys can get involved. So if you want to get involved and have your say on the podcast, you can DM us before Sunday every week, and you can have a 10-minute cameo on the podcast and have your say as a fan.
Yep, about whatever it is that you want to talk about, and we will make a topic based around that after your little 10 minutes. But
where that Cax will turn up on time.
Awesome.
Very. But you're gonna say something, Nona? No, I thought I heard awesome.
I was like,
no.
Oh, I said awesome.
Oh, okay. So make sure you DM us if you want to be involved. Like I said, and like Ad said as well, like everyone here agrees with, the whole point of the supporters' voice is to literally give you guys the voice. So it's not just us always speaking. We want to give you a platform to speak on as well, whether that be through the social medias or through here. So apart from that, I've been hearing a lot of chitter-chatter about our boy Umar, that he don't talk too much, and rare tear, and this, that, and the other. He's a quiet assassin, you get me? He keeps it scrum. When he talks, we listen. So, Umar, do you want to say anything now, or nah? So, apart from that...
Time out.
So we're going to end it right now. You want to tell your haters anything?
All right. No, seriously, have your say in it, because this is for the people. It's the supporters' voice for you lot. Have your say. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Let's go, King Umar.
Umar's such a nice guy. He purposely doesn't speak so that you guys can come on and do the
I just listen to him, man.
He purposely doesn't speak so Jamie can have more time listening to him with his stats.
He knows you love Jamie.
I want him to go off on one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Matt Target for England left back.
Right, Nathan.
Jamie, just kick him now.